the class. Right, we're live now. Namaste everyone. Welcome to Hindi University. Really excited to have all of you this Sunday. As you know, my name is Ashutosh, and we meet every Sunday, 8 a.m. US Pacific time to learn about the Hindi language. For those of you who are new to Hindi University, you can learn more about us by going to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Hindi University. And if you want to join our live interactive classes we have, which is right now, you can get all the details on this page, which is tiny.cc/Hindi University. We update this page on a regular basis, so I really recommend you bookmark it and continue to see the updates there. In addition to the Sunday classes, we have a lot of practice sessions now, so you can become part of those practice sessions where you will have the opportunity to talk to more people and increase your Hindi language level. Okay. You can, if you missed any of the previous classes also, you can find all the prior videos on the tiny.cc page, and the resources that we use along the way, the books that we've been following, you can find it. Okay. One thing I want to highlight, because the daylight savings end today, so even though we are meeting the regular time, which is 8 a.m. Pacific, if your country and the city where you are in it, you don't have the time change, the class may be 1 hour early for you. Okay. And if this is causing confusion, you let me know, send me the city where you are from, and I'll tell you the local time. Okay. With that in mind, as you know, what we've been covering is like a 2 parallel tracks. In the first half of the class, we are covering it for complete beginners, which is the first half of the class, and the second half we are doing for intermediate and above. Okay. For the beginners, we are focusing on 2 books, which is first one is Professor Richard Delacy's book, which is the Elementary Hindi by Professor Richard Delacy. He is a professor at the Harvard University. And the second book we are covering is Pingu Learns Hindi. Okay, you can find both all the links to the books on this page. For the intermediate plus, it's a collection of multiple resources that we've been covering, but the idea is to build on top of what we have done so far. So for today, we'll be continuing chapter 4 from Professor Richard Delacy. Still very basic. Okay, that's the goal, to make sure that everyone is coming along. For the intermediate topic, it will be a complex listening exercise today. Complex listening exercise, which is basically I will read a paragraph or a conversation that is taking place in a restaurant, and you guys have to understand it. Okay, I'll go slow initially, and then I'll go just like a native speaker, like fast. It's built on the topic that we learned last week, which is kitna samay lagega, like how long is it going to take. Okay, so with that in mind, the classes are always interactive, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay. And then we'll address it. So with that in mind, let's get started. We'll start with the basic stuff first. Okay. So if you guys recall, we have, in the basic section, we've established a lot of things so far, right? We have established that Hindi is a SOV language, like subject, object, verb, as opposed to English, which is subject, verb, and object. We learned about that. We learned about basic pronouns. Okay. We learned about demonstrative pronouns. Okay. Then we learned about some little bit of adjectives as well. Two different types of adjectives that we now, in the very first class, if you remember, we learned about in English, when you say I am, in Hindi, as you know, it's basically, the pattern was मैं हूँ, and around that we cover various kinds of sentences with मैं हूँ pattern. And as I said, like in Hindi, it's subject, object, and verb. English, you have a subject, VO, subject, verb, and object. We learned that like these verbs that you have, these are to be form of the verbs. To be form of the verbs. And Hindi, to be is nothing but Hona. Hona. Okay, and all these, you know, the simple sentences that you see in the end, who, these are all variations or forms of Hona. Okay, in this class, for the very basic level, I will cover for all the other pronouns we learned, how, what is the formula look like, what is the pattern look like. Just like you have I am, what's the pattern for other, pronouns for present tense. Okay, and then we'll do some basic sentences. Okay, so with that in mind, so we learned about I am. Okay, and then let's just do for you are. When you say you are, and anything can come in the object, right? You are a pilot, you are a, an engineer, you are a, biker, anything that can comes around with that. Okay, so I'll take from very beginners. Let's say if you have somewhat familiarity, okay, how will you say that? Let me ask some of you who are never participated or completely new. Let's see, uh, who would like to go with that. What is you are in Hindi?
App.
You is up, and then
Hai.
hai. Singular one, plural one. Hai or they?
Singular.
Who would like to try that? What is the sound that is made? Aap is
Hey,
hai. The nasalized one?
hey, with N.
And okay, awesome. Hai. Okay, you are aap hai. Right? So, what are some of the examples? You are a soldier. How will you say that? I think I hear some noise, but maybe you can be a little bit loud. If you are, how will you
App
say?
soldier hai.
Oh, very good. Aap soldier hai. Okay. How will you say you are a runner?
App runner hai.
Very good. Aap runner hai. Okay. You are a painter.
App painter hai.
Okay. Let's say the painter in Hindi is chitrakar. Okay. We don't use it commonly, but let's say the word is chitrakar. How will you say?
App chitrikar hai.
Very good, right? So let's say you are, okay, good. So this is good, right? Aap hain. Just remember that. Aap hain. I can write it down as well in Devanagari, so that way you can. So just like this, you have मैं हूँ, you have आप हैं. We'll practice more patterns around it and sentences, but at least I want you to familiarize them and remember them. There's no short trick I can give you, but at a minimum you have to remember these patterns. I am, which is मैं हूँ. You are, which is आप है. You is also basically, we have other ways of saying you as well. तुम, which is a little bit of a semi-formal. तुम हो, and then other one which is informal is tu hai. Okay, so three things, right? You are is aap hai, tum ho, tu hai. In English you have you are, in Hindi we have these three. Okay, formal, semi-formal, and then informal. Okay, any questions so far? Anyone? Should be simple. Okay, now let's do this one. He, she, and it. And then you have is, it is. How will you say that in Hindi? Scott, what do you think? I think this should be easy for you.
ये है,
Uh-huh.
यहाँ है,
वह है, sorry, for he and she it will be
वहाँ है,
very good. वह है, वह है. Can you give some examples of it? वह है,
वहाँ इंजीनियर है,
वह engineer है. Okay, more, some more.
वह शिक्षक है,
वह शिक्षक है. Awesome. Okay, now let's do this one. We are. We are. Teresa ji, how will you say that? We are.
I think Teresa Ji is just listening, Ashu Ji.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay, so she's listening. Sheila ji, we are.
Hum
Uh-huh. We is hum, and then
hai.
hai. Very good. Hum hai. Okay, hum hai. So just remember the aap you do tum, the with u and then ma. Then you have a tu. Okay. You have a vah and you have a hum. Okay. And then I think we didn't cover the they are, and that would be, let's see, Samantha ji, what do you think they are would be?
Where?
वे
Where? Hey.
वे हैं.
Hey.
Awesome. वे हैं. वे हैं. Okay, so as of now I want you to just remember, if you want to take a time to write it or remember it, just go over it one more time. Remember, मैं हूँ, आप है, तुम हो, तू है, and then वह है, हम हैं, and वे हैं. Remember that, okay? There's no other short way to help you memorize it. You just have to just remember this one, okay? And then let's just start practicing it, okay? You have this list in front of you. Now I'm going to erase this part, the English one, and I'm going to give you some miscellaneous collection of words, and you have to practice making simple sentences, okay? And more importantly, try not to make them just in your head, try to say it as well. That's the goal, right? So it is possible that it's the first time it's your class and you don't know the English word for or Hindi word for many of the words, which is fine. But let's say the collection of word is, let's say you have caregiver. Okay, I'm going to write it. You just all have to practice it. You have employee. Okay, you have knowledgeable person. Knowledgeable. And if you know the Hindi word for each of those, feel free to use it. If not, that's fine. Hardworking. Successful. Okay, then you have volunteer. You have some Hindi words. It says vidyarthi. Vyavasai. Vyavasai. Okay, then you have kisan. Kisan, and then let's say I have one more, which is Shikshak. And feel free to change it. Okay, these are just initial words, I came up with, which basically you can use it. Okay, so I'm going to give all of you some time to try not to write it first, try to say it, because that will increase your confidence. So I'm going to give you about 45 seconds, so all of you to just try to fill in the blank with any of these words. Okay, that will help you memorize these patterns. It will come naturally to you. Okay, so you have some time, all of you, do that, and I'm going to come back and ask most of you, what did you come up with? And if you can think of something else, that's even better. Okay, so you have your some time here. So I'm glad. Look at that, Mahaji is trying. So many of them on Facebook, so that's great. So I want all of you who are watching on Facebook to try as well. And bonus points if you know the Hindi word for any of these. Okay, so let's see. Let's start with Anders. Anders ji, you want to try some of them?
एक minute.
1 minute, okay. Sure.
वहाँ knowledge person है.
वह knowledgeable person है. Okay. Okay, amazing. More, couple of more.
Sorry?
Some more. Try some more.
हम volunteer है.
हम volunteer है. हम volunteers है. Amazing. Okay, one more.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I have difficult to see it, so I need to
Okay,
go.
which one? The words are maybe
Yeah.
smaller.
I was wondering that Kisan, what does that mean? Kisan.
Kisan is, who would like to answer that? What is Kisan?
Farmer.
Farmer. Farmer. Very good. Farmer.
Ah, Kisan. Kisan अंग्रेजी में farmer.
Ah, that's right.
Ah,
Farmer.
आप किसान है?
Of Kisan. Amazing. Thank you so much. Let's see. Who else would like to try that? Daniel Ji, you want to try some of them? And then after that, we go to Natalia Ji. Okay. So Daniel, your turn.
मैं खुश हूँ.
Okay, मैं खुश हूँ.
मैं volunteer हूँ. तुम hardworking हो.
तुम hardworking हो.
It would be knowledgeable person to be knowledgeable person है.
Very good.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, good, wonderful. Knowledgeable person in Hindi. Anyone would like to try? What do you think knowledgeable person in Hindi is?
Gyani.
Gyani, okay.
Ashu Ji.
Huh?
Ashu Ji is.
Yeah, go.
Ashu Ji is knowledgeable.
Oh, come on, come on. I meant like, how do you say it in Hindi? So it's like, one is Gyani Purush, which is a little bit more formal, but you can say Jankar Insan. Okay, so you can say that as well. Jankar Insan. Okay, Jankar Insan. Okay. Awesome. Natalia Ji, you want to try out some? And I'm glad you tried like मैं खुश हूँ. As you know that just like with मैं हूँ pattern, we learned so many, right? So feel free to use those. Yes, Natalia Ji.
Okay. मैं सफल है.
मैं
सफल हूँ. सफल
which
is
one? Oh, you're trying a new. सफल हूँ. Okay.
मैं
Okay.
सफल हूँ.
Okay. Wonderful. मैं successful हूँ या मैं सफल हूँ. Awesome. Okay. Try more. The faster it comes to you, it will just help you remember it, and it will help you when somebody is using it, you will process it faster. So keep going. Okay, I think the video got okay. Keep trying.
मैं कर्मचारी हूँ.
मैं कर्मचारी हूँ. What is कर्मचारी?
कर्मचारी employee.
Yes, very good. So the word is कर्मचारी. Okay.
कर्मचारी. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, मैं कर्मचारी हूँ. Keep going.
वह volunteer है.
वह volunteer है. Great, awesome. Sharon ji, you want to try some?
मैं किसान हूँ.
मैं किसान हूँ.
आप विद्यार्थी हैं.
आप विद्यार्थी हैं. Great.
Is that good?
Okay, great, awesome. Anyone else? Feel free to raise your hand. Vishnu ji, you want to go for it?
Jeg kan ikke, hvad siger du?
Yeah, go for it, Vishnu ji.
Jeg tror, der er lidt derude, men du ellers må du vente lidt. Men du behøver ikke købe den. Du skal jo alligevel.
No
Når
problem.
du skal købe din drik i aften, kan du købe, hvis ikke du finder noget.
Okay, so, okay. You want to go for it, Vishnu ji? You're on mute. Okay, no worries. Tom, you want to try? It's been a while I've spoken with you. Tom?
धन्यवाद आशु जी.
Yeah.
मैं volunteer हूँ.
Amazing.
And आप किसान हैं.
Okay.
Would you like another one?
Keep going. The more you go, the more people will hear.
आशु जी hard working है.
Thank you. One more.
And आशु जी successful है.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Scott.
let's see, how about hum kisan hai?
Uh-huh.
Tum karmachari ho?
है, okay, हम कर्मचारी हैं.
वहाँ विद्यार्थी है.
वह विद्यार्थी है. Great. Jane, you're right. Jane ji.
मैं लेखक हूँ.
मैं लेखक हूँ. I'm a writer. Great. Okay. Couple of more.
मैं how do you say tired?
Yeah, you can say मैं tired हूँ. That's it.
मैं-
Just मैं tired हूँ. Yeah. मैं tired हूँ. That's it. Okay. I'll give you, yesterday, when we were going to, no, day before Friday, okay, when I was dropping my kids to school, and there was a riddle basically. What's the laziest part of the bus? Okay. My daughter is like, seat. She just, like 7-year-old, she just jumped on seat. And I was like, why seat? Because it's just sitting and doing nothing. That's why it's the laziest part. And then after dropping her, I was coming back, and the host of the show, she answered, it's the wheel. And you would answer, why the wheel? Because it is tired. That's why it's the laziest part, right? Because it has tire around it. So it was funny. I thought it was very funny. So when you said "मैं tired हूँ," right, it came to my mind. Anyway, so the homework exercise for you all, right? I mean, it's basically you have this pattern in front of you. Okay. So far, it's only to be form of the verb, which is hूँ, है, हो, है. Okay. Right now, your goal, especially all the beginners, is to just make sure it comes very naturally to you. Okay. These are for present tense. We will do the same thing. Professor Richard Delacy, he covers in the chapter 5, same thing for past tense and subsequently for the future tense. Right now, there is no active verbs here. Right now, we are not saying मैं खाता हूँ, मैं पीता हूँ, मैं बोलता हूँ, मैं चलता हूँ. We will come to that as well. But at the minimum, this should be sort of pretty quick to you. So I'll take a pause. If any questions are there, I'll take questions from any of you. And feel free, in case if it is hard, feel free to ask here. There's no need to feel the pressure that maybe it's only question for me and not for anybody else, right? This is your chance to.
Ashu Ji,
Yeah, go for it.
next about here. The second last one, vyasya.
Vyavsayi. Yes, very good.
What's the plural?
Huh?
What is the plural?
What is, okay, so you know the Vyavsayi part, right? What is
I
Vyavsayi?
think it's a businessman.
That's right, businessman. Businessman. Vyavsayi, the plural is also Vyavsayi.
Oh, okay.
Same, right?
Okay.
Plural is same. So it's just like when you say in singular, you say वह व्यवसायी है or वो व्यवसायी है.
Oh.
In plural, you say वे व्यवसायी हैं. Right? So that's how the person who's listening, they will sort of interpret whether you're saying it for one person or multiple people.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just like kisan, right? Kisan is also singular,
Yes.
kisan is also plural, right? Ve kisan hai. The person who is listening, it will be, okay, she's talking about ve, so plural.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, awesome. Anyone else?
Yeah, Ashu Ji, would you mind saying what the Hindi word for caregiver, hardworking, and volunteer is?
Yeah. So employee, you understood, karmchari, knowledgeable
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
जानकार इंसान, hardworking is, let's see, anyone? मेहनती. Right, वह मेहनती है. Okay. Anyone else? Vidyarthi, you already know, it's a student, shikshak, teacher, vyavsayi, businessman, kisan, farmer. Volunteer. Anybody else for volunteer? Who would like to
Is
volunteer?
it
I know the word
Swayan
seva.
Savak?
Yeah, you can
Swayan
just
Savak?
there's one word for it. Yes.
Swayan Savak?
Swayam Sevak is volunteer. Okay, that's one word. Anyone else?
Something like Vigarti?
Which one?
According to Google, it says Vigarti. Vigharthi.
Vigharthi.
Atorthar. No, Vigharthi. Something like that.
It is possibly a word, but not so commonly used, right? So in Hindi, mostly newspaper, they will just, most of the time, they will just write volunteer as like, they'll write it in Devanagari, V with O, volunteer, okay? The other word, Aneska ji mentioned, Swayam Sevak. You will also hear the word called Swechha se kaam karne wala, which is a longer word, which means like someone who works at their own sort of like, out of, basically no monetary gain or, swechha. I'm going to write it in Romanagari. So swechha matlab apni ichha se kaam karne wala. Swa ichha. Ichha is desire, but self desire. Swa ichha. Swechha se kaam karne wala. Remember wala, right?
Yeah.
काम करने वाला is like someone who works. Okay. स्वेच्छा से काम करने वाला is like someone who works of his own sort of like interest. स्वेच्छा से काम करने वाला, right? And then caregiver. It's also you can, huh?
Could you just write it in Hindi for me, please?
Which one? This one? This one?
Swechha. I
Swechha,
think I
okay.
know, but just make sure.
Okay. So what do you think? How will you write it?
So,
Step or full step?
half a sa wa, shorty e, half a cha, and a full cha with a ki macha. Is that it?
Right. Swechha. That's right. Swechha. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. स्वेच्छा से काम करने वाला. What about caregiver? Anybody would like to say? You can use wala for caregiver as well. Someone who
देखभाल करने वाला.
देखभाल करने वाला और देखभाल करने वाली. Okay, you can use that. I'm gonna erase it and I'm gonna write it down because the whiteboard is full. So caregiver is देखभाल करने वाला. देखभाल करने वाला. Okay, for a male, for a female, देखभाल करने वाली. For plural, देखभाल करने वाले. Scott G, you were raising your hand, so I'm assuming you have a question.
Yeah, just I know that yaha is for let's say if you're using it for he or she, it's someone close, and vaha is someone further away.
That's right.
Is there like a default? Let's say they're not even around and you're just talking about them. Is there like a default that you would use, or does it matter?
Like, say it in English. What is the default for English when you are saying something like that?
Well, I would just say like he's a teacher.
He's a teacher, right?
Mhm.
So default would be just if I'm saying, he's a teacher, I'll just say वह teacher है और वो teacher है और वो अध्यापक है. Like if I'm really saying it for a person, he or she, like, that's what I'll go with. Okay. But if somebody's standing next to me, like, and if I'm talking to, let's say you, and I'm introducing like वो खड़ा है, ये teacher है. Okay, that's what I will say.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Okay, awesome. So homework exercise is clear. Everyone will practice it. Okay. Try to come up with a list which is you think that you want to try on your day-to-day basis that you see. Okay. the word will vary for each person. So I want you to have a collection of, just monitor and observe your day-to-day activity, okay? And make a list for yourself. That will help you a lot. And you will really see that on the same day, you can start using it. Don't worry about how to say all of them in Hindi, but at least try to use it with the pattern. Okay, so I'm going to erase it. I hope it was useful. The second half of the class is, as I said, for intermediate plus. If you're a complete beginner, don't worry too much. You're welcome to just listen to it, okay? Because listening is helpful regardless, as long as you use it in a right sort of manner that you don't feel pressure around it, okay? Just try to listen, because even if you watch any movies or shows, you listen to it, right? Just like there will be no subtitles, okay? So just to give a context, as I said, we have this page tiny.cc/Hindi University, and within that page, you will see a section called Hindi Story. So we are, based on the topic we are covering, I'm just building a story on top of it, okay? The characters of the story is just like a Ron, who is a farmer, and his family, okay? And these are the characters, and as we are learning new topics, I'm just developing on top of it. So this conversation is really taking place between Raj, which is Ron's son, and the restaurant owner. Okay. In the previous class, we learned about the topic called something को करने में कितना समय लगेगा, or लगेगा for future, okay? I hope some of you remember it, okay? The sample sentence that we had was John को हिंदी सीखने में कितना समय लगेगा? What does it mean, Aneska ji? जॉन को हिंदी सीखने में कितना समय लगेगा?
Could it be John has if it's a question word, so kitna, how long has John been learning Hindi?
कितना समय लगेगा? How long it will take for John?
How long will it take him to learn Hindi?
Yes, very good. How long it will take for John to learn Hindi, right? John को हिंदी सीखने में कितना समय लगेगा? We said for past tense, let's say John already knows Hindi and somebody is asking him, how long it took you to learn Hindi? How will you say that, Aneska ji? Just same thing, but how will they ask, like, how long did it take him to learn Hindi?
Oh, it would be like laga.
Yes, very good. Yes, John को हिंदी सीखने में कितना समय लगा?
Laga.
Now let's say you are learning a new language, let's say French, and you want to know generally how long it takes to learn French. How will you ask that?
So generally it would be the ending would be the same. John ko Hindi John ko French सीखने में लगता है, or
French, yeah, that's it. So instead of John, you want to just generally inquire. You'll say French सीखने में कितना,
okay.
Yeah, finish it up.
कितना समय लगता है?
French सीखने में कितना समय लगता है? Okay. You see you are conjugating it based on the situation, and you have that freedom. You can use it in past, present, future. You can use models. You can use however you want. The reason I'm giving you the context, because some of you may not have joined the previous class, and the conversation I wrote between Raj and the restaurant owner is, pay attention to it, okay? There's a lot of variations in the lagna, okay? So I'm going to go, yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry, one quick question, just, so सीखने में is that like, is that just a, the way that the verb is used? Instead of just सीखने.
So yes, this is the formula basically, which is basically subject is John, subject ko, and then the masculine singular oblique case of the verb. Okay, सीखना, हिंदी सीखना or सीखना is the verb, but masculine singular oblique is सीखने,
Right.
followed by the postposition में,
Okay.
इतना समय, and then form of lagna. That's the pattern.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm going to go read very slow. Okay, I'm going to repeat it as well, but in the end I'm going to read it fast. Okay, so imagine Raj is sitting in a restaurant, and then he's talking to the restaurant owner. Okay, so Raj, गुस्से में डोसा आने में कितना समय लगेगा? Okay, Raj, गुस्से में डोसा आने में कितना समय लगेगा? The restaurant owner, साहब आने वाला है, साहब आने वाला है. राज, लेकिन पिछली बार तो खाना आने में बहुत कम समय लगा था. लेकिन पिछली बार तो खाना आने में बहुत कम समय लगा था. आज इतना समय क्यों लग रहा है? आज इतना समय क्यों लग रहा है? I'm going to read again the first 4 lines. राज, गुस्से में डोसा आने में कितना समय लगेगा? रेस्टोरेंट ओनर, साहब आने वाला है. राज, लेकिन पिछली बार तो खाना आने में बहुत कम समय लगा था. आज इतना समय क्यों लग रहा है? ओनर, रेस्टोरेंट ओनर, साहब आज केवल 2 कर्मचारी ही काम करने आए हैं. ओके, साहब आज केवल 2 लोग ही काम करने आए हैं. रेस्टोरेंट ओनर, साहब आज थोड़ी और देर लग सकती है. आज थोड़ी और देर लग सकती है. Okay, I'm going to repeat the second part again. आज इतना समय क्यों लग रहा है? रेस्टोरेंट ओनर, साहब आज केवल 2 लोग काम करने आए हैं. आज थोड़ी देर और लग सकती है. ओके, रेस्टोरेंट ओनर, तब तक आप हमारे यहाँ की कॉफी पीजिए. तब तक आप हमारे यहाँ की कॉफी पीजिए. कॉफी आने में कम समय लगता है. कॉफी आने में कम समय लगता है. I'm going to repeat again. तब तक आप हमारे यहाँ की कॉफी पीजिए. कॉफी आने में कम समय लगता है. राज अगेन, अगर तुम समय पर खाना नहीं लाओगे, अगर तुम समय पर खाना नहीं लाओगे तो लोग तुम्हारे यहाँ क्यों आएंगे? राज, अगर तुम समय पर खाना नहीं लाओगे तो लोग तुम्हारे यहाँ क्यों आएंगे? restaurant owner again. जी साहब, अगली बार जब आप आएंगे, अगली बार जब आप आएंगे तो आपका खाना एकदम समय पर लाया जाएगा. ओके, लिसन टू इट अगेन. अगली बार जब आप आएंगे तो आपका खाना एकदम समय पर लाया जाएगा. ओके, तो आपका खाना एकदम समय पर लाया जाएगा. I know it was a hard paragraph. I'm going to read the whole thing one more time, but this time I'm going to read it fast, just like the news anchors were to read it a little bit fast. Hopefully this time, and the whole point is you to be able to process it fast, right? Because people, when they speak fast. Okay. Raj, गुस्से में, डोसा आने में कितना समय लगेगा? रेस्टोरेंट ओनर, साहब आने वाला है. राज, लेकिन पिछली बार तो खाना आने में बहुत कम समय लगा था, आज इतना समय क्यों लग रहा है? रेस्टोरेंट ओनर, साहब आज केवल 2 लोग ही काम करने आए हैं, आज थोड़ी देर लग सकती है, तब तक आप हमारे यहाँ की कॉफ़ी पीजिए, कॉफ़ी आने में बहुत कम समय लगता है. ओके. राज, राज टू द ओनर, अगर तुम समय पर खाना नहीं लाओगे तो लोग तुम्हारे यहाँ क्यों आएंगे? ओनर, जी साहब, अगली बार जब आप आएंगे तो खाना एकदम समय पर लाया जाएगा. Okay. Forget about the word to word translation. Who was able to who would like to at least raise their hand and give a quick summary in English? What was happening? What was the conversation about? Okay, Samantha ji, I know you are in India. You wanted to join this part, so I'm gonna volunteer you if that's okay. What was the conversation like? What was happening between Raj and the restaurant owner?
Something about coffee and
Okay,
I
were you able
didn't
to get some of it?
yes, I mean, I don't know.
So
It's
yes,
correct, but
okay.
the farmer was asking how much time it will take for the coffee to be ready or something like that.
Okay. Samantha Chai, I think you go for it as well. I think you have two, Samantha.
Okay. So Raj was saying, why is it taking so much time for my food to come? The restaurant owner was like basically making him feel better by saying, oh, it's coming right now. While you're waiting, do you want something to drink? And then the guy was saying, people aren't going to come here if it always takes so long to come. And the restaurant owner was saying, next time you come, we'll make sure ekdam samay par, it'll come right on time for you.
That's great. Amazing. Wonderful. What was how were you processing? Were you just getting it one by one, or what tips you can give it to the beginners? Like, what helped you process this whole thing?
You can even think about the conversation in English, right? Like if Raj, you start off by saying gusame, so he's angry. And you can tell from his first line, he's angry that the food is taking a long time. So even think about what would a restaurant owner or a waiter say to you if he's trying to make you feel better? He'd be saying, okay, don't worry, sir, the food is coming. Or he'd be saying, why don't you order something else? It won't take as long. This won't happen again. Like he's basically just trying to make him feel better. So think about what you already know that might happen in the situation.
Yeah. What do you do if the word is hard? Let's say you don't understand some of the vocabulary words, right? I mean, in this case, were there any vocabulary word that were sort of you not familiar with, or any parts of the sentence that you were not familiar with, but you just understood it in this context?
That doesn't happen to me in this situation, but in situations when it does, I think about just context, what makes sense. Even if you don't know all of the words, especially all the nouns don't necessarily matter if you understand the verbs, you understand the gist of what's happening.
Okay. Were you able to understand all the ending of it? Because in the initial set, we said samay lagega, laga tha, lag raha hai, and then lag sakta hai. were you able to, how closely were you paying attention? Like, or was it like when you are in a day-to-day conversation, that becomes secondary, you just go with the flow?
Maybe a bit of both. I think, again, thinking about it in English, it made logical sense which verb tenses you're using.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. Thank you so much. Nandini ji,
Yes, Ashu Ji.
you want to share your thoughts? You were raising your hand as well. Anything?
No. She said it so beautifully. I don't have anything to say.
So
Summarized
let's just,
beautifully.
yeah, so let's just do anyone else who had difficulty. Now let's hear from people and be honest. Okay, if it is hard, you know, at least share that. So you hear both sides, and folks who are advanced, they can help out as well. Let's hear from like anyone, you know, who had hard time and which part was hard.
If I may, since I've been living in Jaipur for 6 months, I still am struggling to understand, like what Samantha was saying. The most important thing is that you understand the gist of what is going on.
Mhm.
And for example, we have learned from you the word gusa from the start, right? From Pingu Learns Hindi. And you can immediately like click into, okay, this is not going to be a nice conversation.
Yeah.
So, and then what I was listening for was the verb endings so that I could understand the time frames that he was talking about. So that's when I could hear the complaint factory starting, and the nice way that the man was, the restaurant owner was trying to assuage his angry customer.
Awesome, awesome. Anyone else was finding it hard?
I was a little impressed that I was able to understand way more than I thought.
Really?
But at the back of my head, I'm still wishing to see the text because I'm so much stronger with reading than I am with listening.
Yeah.
But joining the Pingulin's Hindi classes has been making a big difference for me.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, since the writing part, Sharmila ji is helping me. Like the story is there. If you go to tinycc/Hindi University, and if you click on the story, it's chapter 5 that you will see. It's not in Devanagari right now. It's in Romanagari, and because I posted it yesterday only, I was just thinking about what are the different variations of kitna, samay, lagega. So, you will see it soon in the Devanagari as well, right? So. Anyone else before we go line by line translation, which is important?
Well,
we will do that. Yeah.
Well, I would say this was very hard for me. It's so easy to get thrown off track. It's like Gusame. And as soon as that came out, I'm saying, why is it Gusame? Why is it not May Gusahun? And by the time I've done that in my head, I've missed the whole next 2 sentences.
Yeah, I see.
It was hard. It was hard.
Yeah. So it was, how will you say that in English? Raj, in an angry voice.
I'm angry.
Or angrily.
In the angrily. So it was not necessarily, he's angry. In the sense, like it was not necessarily like the sentence was, because this was a conversation, it was just showing the mood of Raj. Raj, angrily or in an angry voice. And then he's saying, it's just like, how you will have a conversation in English also. The conversation could have been Raj saying, dosa aane mein kitna samay lagega? That means like, how long is it going to take to get the dosa or for dosa to come? But you don't know the mood of Raj. That's why it was gusse mein, in anger. Okay. Vidyaji?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. It was in anger.
Yes.
I thought it was I am angry.
No.
Oh, okay. I had the whole thing wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just add one thing? I think that with learning languages, especially if the reader or the speaker is fluent, obviously, as you are, Ashu Ji. If you're kind of struggling, one thing is like pay attention to the tone. And so that also, that helps a lot, helps with context. Like if you're losing track of who's talking, like all of a sudden, oh wait, this person is speaking sort of forcefully and they're annoyed, that must be Raj. And it's, you know, that helps. And then the other thing that the last person said, I think is really true. Just try when you're trying to listen, or like you're watching a movie or whatever, just like you're not getting a few things, just like let it go. You know, there's something about anger, just keep listening and, you know, try not to, so you don't lose your place.
Yeah, amazing. So we have Vidyaji and Sheilaji. So Vidyaji and then you, Sheilaji.
So the man said another thing. He tried to explain why the food was taking so long. So he said that there were only 2 people who came to work that day.
Yes.
So that's why it was taking so long.
Yeah, awesome. Sheilaji?
I was just thinking what makes it difficult for me. And I would find listening to a passage even in English like this and trying to remember it difficult because my brain needs multiple inputs. It doesn't just work on someone speaking. So for me, I tend to lose the endings of words. I tend to lose the end of a line or the end of a sentence when someone's talking. Because when you listen to it in your native tongue, you don't actually hear every word. And I think it's a bit of training my brain to hear the words I need to hear in a sentence and ignore the words I don't really need to hear in the sentence to get the meaning of the sentence.
Yeah.
And that's what I find quite difficult to do when it's just an oral reading of it.
Yeah, I think it's one disadvantage of if we learn too many grammar rules, our brain is also wired that why this the first sentence that I heard is not fitting the framework that I learned language with. I mean, that's when the immersion kind of, if you're tilted towards immersion, it helps you a little bit more because then you're not battling within your brain that, you know what, this is not how this sentence was structured. Because immersion comes naturally. You are in that place where the language is spoken, right? So maybe one idea would be don't battle too much when you are hearing the conversation, whether it is like why did he say this way or certain way, like that part can come, like you can dissect it later on, but at least when you are listening to it, you know, just try to get the whole picture first, right? The broader one, right? I mean, that will help you. The same thing in English, like when I watch even now English movies, not every sentence is making sense, and if I battle too hard, I'm going to lose the whole thing, and I'm going to be telling my wife, what did he say, like she won't like. So you get what I'm saying, right? I mean, so
yeah, that's what I was meaning by in English, you don't actually remember every single word that Ashu Ji said to me. I couldn't repeat it word for word, no way. But I know what you mean because I've heard the key words or the key phrases that have registered, and I haven't quite got there in doing that in Hindi yet.
Rita Ji, how are you doing?
Cool. I was fine to the last sentence. I think because by then I had lost it. I think there was a compound verb or something in there.
Yes.
The last sentence. Okay.
I deliberately put compound verb there. You know,
okay.
I'm glad you got it. So,
yeah, I was, but it made sense. I mean, I could understand it. I knew the context of the story, but like she said, yeah, I couldn't repeat it word for word, but I could understand what he was saying. Your food is taking long. People didn't show up for work. Typical what really happens in real life here now. So, yeah. So
I know we are short of time. We have only 4 minutes left. So the homework exercise for all of you, and I hope Sharmila ji, you're still there. Yeah, you are there, right? So she's helping me. You know, I hope you can all access it. If you go to tiny.cc and you go to Hindi University and you go to Hindi Story, in the very first page, if you click on it, you will find the whole conversation. Okay, and you know, in the next few days, you know, you will see right now it's in Romanagari, you will see it in Devanagari, and you will see the translation as well, word by word. Okay, so you will have it there. So the homework exercise for you right now is, you know, if it was hard and because we couldn't do the line-to-line translation, just go over it one more time, read it, underline and see the hard part. Okay, and then in the few days when you have it completed, like the translation and Devanagari, you can compare your notes against it. Okay, but in any case, I really hope at least it tested your the listening skills, right? I'm going to take a pause because we have a couple of announcements. One is basically, I hope I can do justice. One is we have many practice sessions, and you can find the details on the TinyCC page, right? tiny.cc/Hindi University. For complete beginners, you will see that now we have a new practice session starting, which is Pingu Learns Hindi, and this is for the Asia Pacific. Mostly for the Asia Pacific group, because like right now it's the time is quite late there, and we really wanted always like a group for which suits the timing of the Asia Pacific people who are located in the Asia Pacific region. So this will be starting soon. If you are part of the WhatsApp group, you will continue to get the details about the timing of it. It's a beginners level group. They will go systematically the Pingu Learns Hindi book. And then the other groups are already there, which is basically, Professor Usha Jain's group that you already have. Then you have the Rootledge group, which is advanced one. It's on pause for a time being, till we have the Sarah Ji finishing her thesis. And then the other groups, we have all the details, and Kelly Ji and everyone. I mean, you notice that they're posting the details. So I'm going to take a pause. Kelly Ji, feel free to add anything that I perhaps missed.
No, I think it's great. Just if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Ashu Ji, and then we'll connect you with the right hosts.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to get everybody in, but we're really lucky that there's so many dedicated learners who want to share with us and who want to start all these groups. So I just want to give a big shout out to everybody. And we're trying to just be patient with us as me and Ashu Ji are trying to adjust to all the growth and the time changes, and we're doing the best we can here.
See what you started, Kelly G?
Yeah,
It was just me and Rita G sitting in a room going, what are they doing for the week?